to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something, well, pretty universal, actually. That feeling, waiting for something big to finally happen.
Oh yeah, that anticipation. It can be almost painful sometimes when you're really looking forward to something complex finally launching.
Exactly. And we're exploring this idea of purposeful patience. So not just sitting around, but waiting in a way that's active, strategic.
Right. And our focus for this deep dive is the development of OnPassive. It's this huge tech ecosystem, AI-driven tools, the whole package aimed at a global audience.
And we've got some great source material, a 100-minute discussion with the CEO, a founder who's been there from the start, someone brand new, and a developer. Gives us a lot of angles.
It really does. Multiple perspectives on this journey.
So our mission here is to pull out the key insights on why patience is, well, maybe more than just a virtue in building something this big and complex.
We want to get into what's actually going on behind the curtain and what it means for everyone involved, especially if you're watching this space closely.
Okay, let's dive right in. The initial challenge, just the wait itself, that tension between being super excited and the reality of the hard wait.
Definitely. We heard from Musa, right? He's a new affiliate, joined this year.
Yeah, he hears about all the cool stuff, AI tools, O-Wallet, O-Connect, that July 24th readiness date.
All the buzzwords, yeah.
But he's still finding it tough. The anticipation is huge, which, is completely understandable.
Totally relatable. But then you contrast that with Angela. She's a veteran, been part of OnPassive since 2018.
Right, a very different perspective.
She sees some founders getting a bit restless, sure. But it says many get it that the best systems just take time.
She had that great analogy.
Yeah, the pyramid analogy.
Yeah.
You don't rush brilliance. I think that really frames the scale we're talking
It
about.
does. Don't rush brilliance. So what are the fundamentals here? Why does something like this demand so much time? Why is patience so necessary?
Well, the CEO, Ash Mufareh, he puts it pretty bluntly. He asks, basically, would you move into a house while the foundation is still being laid?
Simple but effective. Makes immediate sense.
Exactly. And you have to grasp the scale. This isn't just for a few people. It's being built for millions globally. 247 different languages, borders, payment systems.
That complexity is staggering.
And because of that, he says, it has to be flawless. No room for error at that scale.
And the tech developer, Raj, he added some specifics, didn't he?
He did. He really emphasized, look, we're not just coding a website. That's the key. They're constructing an ecosystem.
An ecosystem, meaning?
Meaning everything connects. The wallets, the traffic automation, how commissions work, all the verification stuff, compliance across different countries, support systems.
Wow, okay. That's a lot of moving parts.
A lot. And his goal, his team's goal is for it to be bulletproof. When you hear that, you start to really get why it takes the time it takes.
Absolutely. Bulletproof takes time, which leads to another interesting point, this idea that the wait isn't failure, it's actually protection.
Exactly. That's a big mindset shift. Ash talks about delays not being failures, but protections.
Protections against what specifically?
Against, potential technical glitches, data loss, or broken promises.
Yeah.
Things that could really damage trust if they launch too soon.
That makes sense. And he compared it to other big innovators, right? Like Tesla or Apple.
Yeah, pointing out that great innovations don't launch overnight. The aim isn't a quick cash grab, it's sustainability. Sustain forever, he said, building a legacy.
Not just a quick fix.
And from the tech side, Raj backs this up. Launching too early without rigorous stress testing. That destroys trust. It can create messes that are basically irreversible.
Irreversible messes. You definitely don't want that with user data or money.
Absolutely not. So the commitment is do it right, not rushed. Rushing could literally sink the whole ship before it even properly sets sail. Quality and security have to come first.
Okay, so patience is strategic, it's protective. But what about the deeper side, the psychology of it? Are there hidden benefits to this purposeful waiting?
Ash suggests there are. He talks about how patience can actually renew hope. How? By reminding people that every day they wait.
The system gets better.
Exactly. Smarter, more secure, and more aligned with your future success. He frames patience not as weakness, but as maturity. Foundational strength.
Maturity, okay. And you mentioned hidden blessings from this long wait. What were those?
Right. There are three key ones. First, wisdom. Learning to approach this whole thing with understanding, not just raw emotion.
How does waiting help build that wisdom, like practically?
Well, it forces you to take a longer view, right? You're not just reacting to hype. You have time to actually learn, understand the mechanics, maybe plan more strategically instead of just jumping in emotionally. It builds a stronger base for when things do go live.
Okay, that tracks. What was the second blessing?
Readiness. He pointed out that many people have used this time to build amazing global networks. Networks that, honestly, probably would have been impossible if things had launched really quickly years ago.
So the delay actually created an opportunity for deeper connection building.
Precisely. OnPassive is global, right? So this period let people connect across borders, understand different markets, build relationships. They're set up for a truly worldwide launch now, not just a local one.
Makes sense. And the third blessing?
Positioning. This is key for the early founders. Ash says they'll gain unstoppable leverage once the commissions, traffic, wallets, all that goes live.
Unstoppable leverage. What does that actually look like for them?
It means they're right at the front of the line. They've built their networks, they understand the system. So when the features that drive income, like commissions and traffic, switch on, they're perfectly placed to benefit immediately. It's like owning prime real estate before the city explodes.
Got it. Prime position. And I liked Ash's metaphor here, planting, not sitting.
Yeah, that's powerful. It reframes the whole waiting period. You're not passive, you're actively preparing, planting seeds.
And come harvest time, you'll not just benefit, you'll bless others with it. That really changes the perspective on waiting for any long-term goal, doesn't it?
It really does. And it makes you think differently about specific dates, too, like that July 24th people were focused on.
Right. What was his take on that?
He said it's not just a date, it's more like the symbol of readiness. It marks that shift, from building quietly to actually serving people fully, a milestone, not just a deadline.
A symbol of readiness. Okay. Now, with any project this long, skepticism is almost inevitable. How do they address that? Raj, the developer, he offered some transparency, didn't he?
He did. He mentioned that most of the setbacks or pauses weren't because things failed, but because of challenges with integrations.
Integrations, meaning getting different parts to work together smoothly.
Exactly, like making the payment system talk securely to the wallet or the AI tools match perfectly with OConnect. These connection points are where vulnerabilities can hide.
So the pauses are basically for security checks at those integration points.
Precisely. They pause to stress test those connections, find any tiny gaps, and make absolutely sure user data and, crucially, future earnings are secure before moving forward. It's about preventing a domino effect if one piece fails.
Understanding the why behind pauses is definitely helpful. So what about dealing with critics who maybe don't see that bigger picture? Ash had some advice there too.
Yeah, very practical advice. He basically said, show, don't tell. Show them the platform, show them the OnPassive ecosystem, OES, the tools. Show them progress, not promises.
Demonstration over argument.
Exactly. Because arguing just leads to more arguing, right? But if you can actually show someone a working, tangible system,
It kind of speaks for itself.
it cuts through the noise. It builds belief based on reality, not just words. As Ash put it, leaders don't argue, they demonstrate.
That ties into their guiding principle too. Perspective over panic, faith over fear, vision over reaction, keeping that clear head.
Definitely. And Raj gave a bit of an update on that final stretch. He mentioned they're nailing down final testing on things like load balancers.
Making sure the system can handle huge traffic loads.
Right. And OWASP security,
Oh, dear.
OConnect's HD streaming, and those all-important commission flows. The core stuff needs to be rock solid.
So when it finally opens, what's the vision? What does that future look like according to Ash?
He painted a pretty clear picture. Real-time commissions rolling in, traffic being allocated automatically, people subscribing to products, seeing daily activity logs, being able to withdraw funds.
Basically, the whole system fully operational and tangible.
Exactly. The dream, as he put it, becomes tangible. That's the payoff for all the purposeful patience.
Which really brings us back to where we started. This deep dive, it really hammers home that patience, when it's purposeful and strategic, isn't just waiting. It's fundamental to building something truly big and lasting.
Like Angela, the founder, said as part of a technological reformation. It's that significant.
And that final thought from Ash is quite powerful. Delay is not denial.
It implies the goal is still firmly in sight, even if the path takes time. It's about building something to serve a lifetime.
So the question for you listening is, what does this idea of focused, purposeful patience mean for your own big projects, your own long-term goals?
Yeah, how could you maybe cultivate that kind of patience when you're facing your own challenges, anticipation, complexity, maybe even skepticism from others?
Could allowing that necessary time instead of rushing actually protect and enhance what you're trying to build in the long run?
Something to think about.
Uh,
Because it seems like any truly transformative venture, like they believe OnPassive is,
yeah.
well, it demands that mix of patience, purpose, and a very clear vision.
A vision for impact that lasts. Definitely something worth pondering. Welcome to the deep dive. The digital landscape, it's always shifting, isn't it? We're all just trying to, keep pace.
Yeah, definitely.
But imagine a company aiming not just to be part of that change, but to fundamentally transform the whole global ecosystem.
That's a bold claim. Really
Yeah,
bold.
it is. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking deep into OnPassive technologies and their vision for what they're calling a complete autonomous business ecosystem.
And to give you a really full picture, we've pulled insights from this, well, fascinating conversation. It had their CEO, Ash Mufareh, AI engineers, product managers,
Right.
even longtime founders like someone named Linda, and new partners too. So we're going to unpack what they say is coming, distill it for you.
But critically, right, we're not here to endorse. Our mission is to understand, to unpack this vision, look at the pieces they've laid out, and think about what it might mean for you, for your digital future. Basically, a shortcut to getting informed on a company making some pretty big noise. So right off the bat, the CEO, Ash Mufareh, isn't just talking about, like, a software update.
No, not at all.
He's framing this launch as the beginning of a new digital era. I mean, that sets the bar incredibly high.
It really does. And what's striking is just the huge scope of it all. OnPassive says they want to transform the entire global ecosystem.
The entire thing.
Yeah, integrating, communication, commerce, AI, finance, everything under one roof, supposedly. It suggests a whole new way of operating online if they can actually pull it off. The big question for me is, how do you manage that kind of integration without it becoming all clunky or losing specialized features?
That's a key point. And Mufareh specifically mentioned July 24th as a turning point,
Right.
signaling this release isn't just a platform, but this complete autonomous business ecosystem. And you can sort of feel the buzz from the early people involved. Linda, who's been a founder since 2019, she said the vision is becoming visible and they feel ready to lead.
Right. That kind of long-term belief.
It makes you think, though, with this level of ambition, what would a single integrated system actually feel like to use every day? And how do you get people to switch from all the separate tools they use now?
Good question. What's the real user benefit that makes them jump?
Okay, so at the heart of this system, conceptually, is OES 2.0. They're calling it your personal business command center.
Yeah, OES 2.0.
Okay.
Pitched as, faster, smarter, integrating their big products.
Like what specifically?
Well, OConnect for HD webinars, Autodesk for the AI support side, OMail for secure messages, and OwnIt for social stuff. Plus, they mentioned ODomain and OTracker are coming. But the key thing isn't just listing tools. It's how they claim they'll work together so smoothly. Like, is OMail properly end-to-end encrypted by default? How's OConnect handling HD globally without lag? Especially with the user numbers they're talking about.
Yeah, those are the practical questions. One founder said, it feels like we're entering the next version of the internet powered by us.
Strong statement.
And Mufareh put it bluntly, you won't need 5 or 6 platforms, just OnPassive.
Well, it's a huge promise. So you think, okay, if all your tools are in one place, working together, what's the trade-off? Do you lose some of the best features from those specialized standalone apps?
That's always the risk with all-in-one solutions, isn't it? Jack of all trades.
Master of none? Maybe. Let's shift to the money side. A big part of the pitch is the financial system. O-Wallet.
Right, and they're not just calling it a digital wallet.
No, it's a financial freedom engine. Another one of those big, bold terms.
Yeah, and the claims are pretty striking. They've outlined a system where commissions supposedly drop daily. Daily. Withdrawals seamless, multi-currency support, multi-layered access, and crypto compatibility coming later.
Okay, but that sounds incredibly complex, technologically and regulatory-wise.
Exactly. Integrating crypto and regular currency across global payment systems. That's historically very, very challenging. How are they planning to navigate all that complexity for seamless daily transactions everywhere?
Yeah, good point. An affiliate partner, Faith, she asked about instant income streams.
And Mufareh confirmed it, but then he talked about something potentially bigger. Residual income, income that grows through activity and product movement.
Okay, residual income. So how does this system supposedly generate that automatically?
Yeah.
And manage it? What kind of activity or sales level do you need for that income to actually become meaningful?
Those are the details we need, right?
Okay.
And here's where it gets maybe even more audacious.
Right.
The claim is they're launching with 12.5 million verified leads
12.5 million.
across education, health, business, e-commerce, creators, really diverse sectors.
That is staggering. If true, they say this traffic is automated, targeted, distributed fairly among active members, especially those with product packages.
Okay, but hold on. How do you verify leads at that scale? 12.5 million.
Exactly. What's the mechanism? How do they ensure quality, ongoing engagement, not just a massive list, especially across so many different fields?
Yeah.
Pulling that off would be, no, revolutionary doesn't quite cover it.
It really sounds it. The system delivers customers. Linda, the founder, put it well. So you don't chase customers, the system delivers them.
Mm-hmm. A marketer's dream if it works.
And Mufra himself made this comparison. He said it's like Amazon plus Google plus Shopify, but automated and owned by you.
Wow. Okay. That's aiming high. So what's the tech? What's the business model that allows them to claim that level of automation and user ownership? Even the giants haven't fully cracked that for individuals.
Right. What makes it owned by you? Okay, let's look at the AI tools. They're positioning OnPassive as your full office and marketing team.
Powered by AI, yeah. They listed specific tools: OCapture for screen and video automation,
Okay.
OCreate, a website builder, Odit, a smart video editor, OChat, that's the multilingual chatbot using Gen AI.
Gen AI, right, generative AI.
Yeah, so it can create human-like text. And OTracker for analyzing user behavior. The big claim here is that each tool replaces an expensive SaaS subscription.
So consolidation again, saving costs, streamlining.
Exactly. But the deeper question is, what makes their AI models better or different for business automation? How do they actually integrate uniquely within the OnPassive ecosystem compared to, say, using standalone AI tools?
And they teased phase 2 tools too, right? Voice AI, document AI, auto campaign builders.
More automation coming.
If these tools work as advertised, you can really picture how AI could handle a ton of your work.
Yeah.
Think about the time and resources that could free up, especially for individuals or small businesses. What new things could you do?
Opens possibilities for sure. But with all this integration,
Security has to be top of mind. How are they handling that?
well, they outlined a multi-layered approach. O-Verify uses AI for KYC, know your customer.
Okay.
Facial matching, ID validation, anti-fraud stuff, all AI-driven. Then there's O-Virtual.
What's that?
That's about securing access to the whole system. VPN, passwordless login, access logs for control.
Sounds comprehensive.
It does. But the real test is always against sophisticated attacks, right? How robust are these AI security measures against constantly evolving threats? And what's their policy if a breach does happen? Transparency is key there.
Absolutely. Linda, the founder, she stressed this makes OnPassive one of the most secure platforms online.
Great.
And the CEO's goal, he said, isn't just security, but protecting lives and livelihoods. It does make you think, what peace of mind could truly robust integrated security bring, especially if you're putting more of your digital life into one basket.
It's a major selling point if they deliver.
And that global reach seems critical too, especially for payments.
Definitely. They're finalizing payment gateways across Africa, Asia, Europe, the Americas. They name names like Paystack, Flutterwave, Stripe, Razorpay.
Familiar names.
Yeah. And crypto wallets coming soon. But what seemed really key was activating country-specific channels.
Like mobile money.
Exactly. Mobile money, allowing direct withdrawals to local banks. That suggests they're trying to really localize the financial side, not just make it globally available.
Interesting distinction.
But again, think of the complexity. Integrating with all those different local payment systems, regulations, compliance.
Yeah.
It's a massive undertaking across so many regions. How are they managing that?
It's incredibly ambitious. But for you, the listener, imagine if that works. Seamless global transactions, easy access to your funds across continents. It could be huge.
If the execution matches the vision, absolutely.
Okay, so all these components, all this buildup, it's all pointing toward this big event, July 24th, the mega celebration.
Yeah, that's positioned as the moment it all goes live. A global broadcast is expected.
What's happening on the broadcast?
Full feature releases, they say.
Great.
Live commission drops happening in real time. User onboarding starts. Founder rewards get activated. And the beginning of this daily digital automation they keep talking about.
So the switch gets flipped, basically.
That's the idea. It's a huge, synchronized, global rollout. Very few companies attempt something like that, launching so many connected systems all at once.
And they're planning celebrations, too. A virtual party? plus actual in-person events around the world.
Aiming to bring together their 1.4 million believers, as they put it.
Wow. You have to wonder, what's it like being part of an event like that? Marketed as this major digital shift, how does that collective energy shape the first impressions?
Could be powerful. Or set expectations sky high.
So let's try and wrap our heads around the overall vision OnPassive presented. It's not just another app or platform.
No, Ash Mufarah called it a new life design, centered on AI-driven prosperity, backed by human unity.
Very aspirational language.
Extremely. They're claiming to be the internet's next chapter, providing future-proofing in the digital world.
The promise, as they laid it out, is no more tech confusion, no more chasing money.
Yeah, suggesting a total overhaul of how we use tech and earn online. They clearly picture a future where all the current digital friction just gets automated away.
So here's the final thought for you, listening. What would it actually mean for you if your whole digital life, communication, commerce, finance, marketing, all of it was really pulled together into one single integrated AI-powered ecosystem, arriving, as they say, with thunder?
What opportunities might that unlock? Or perhaps what new challenges or dependencies might it create in your daily routine, your financial world?
Definitely something to think about. We encourage you to explore these ideas more and consider what the implications might be.
At 4 a.m. in the morning in the dark, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about three things here. Very, very brief, straight to the point. I'm going to cover three things. The very first one is OnPassive, by the way, is here to stay. Not only here to stay, is going to thrive and is going to shock you and is going to impress you. If you think it's a joke, if you think it's a prank, if you think it's a wishy-washy thing, you are damn wrong and you are going to be losing that bet, okay? So sorry and so sad if you feel that way. If you feel this is something good and positive, you're also wrong, because no matter how good you think it is, it's a lot better, all right? So none of you know what's coming. That's one thing. So I guarantee you're going to be thrilled, you're going to be pleased. If you hate humanity, you're not going to like what we're doing. The second topic is, last time I talked to you, I said around this time, we should be having some tangible updates. Yes. Back in September, we've launched OConnect 2023, and we had a tremendous success. Spontaneously, we crushed all the records, unbelievable volume that scared the heck out of the payment processors, the bankers, all the way to those who are involved in the money handling thing. No problem. They chose to freeze our money. And we went to a battle. We lost it. It took about 3 to 4 months. It was a losing battle. So we used two processors, and we had to kind of slow down to make sure that we solve this. All right. So our funds has been on hold technically since sometimes in October back in 2023. And I told you we are going to win. And I said last time we're down to 3 steps from 50 or so. Don't take it literally. It's just like so many incremental small steps in the way: legality, letters, documents, applications, appeal, this, that, okay, changing advocates, etc. So we're down to none. As of yesterday, there's nothing left. And as I told you, we're going to win. It's our money. Some of it is your money, okay? And that is solved. The money's not in the bank yet, okay? About any day from now on, all right? It's not going to take weeks okay, we're talking about days. Any day from this very day, in fact, since yesterday to be very accurate, any day the funds will be hitting the bank, our money, and then we resume what have been a nightmare for me before anyone else, the delay in the payments and the withdrawals. I cannot wait to do that. A big chunk of it is not going to sit in the bank for like 48 hours or at most a couple of days just to do the processing. So I'm so happy and relieved because of that. And that will take us to the following. All right. Because of that, meaning we could be tentatively, and I mentioned this before, to the final extension or so in Connect. And obviously, we're going to offer different packages. We have not kind of determined yet the exact things, but we have potential ideas floating among the teams. And soon we will let you know. The very good news also that we have done some incredible progress with the payment processors. So we already have something just about any day. Also, we will start live testing at least one of them, and then we start adding. Eventually, we're going to end up with several. Why? Because of the volume and the predicted volume. There's not one of them will handle it. And eventually, we're going to own it. Wink, wink. Okay? So this is all I have for you. OnPassive is here to stay. Better than you think. A nightmare for the last several months is almost over. We're going to wake up to an incredible dream, and the sun is going to come out, and we're going to find Chris Johnson somewhere in Miami in the Sunshine State. He was lost in the dark. I'm going to be telling that story. But I love the analogy, with all the respect. Okay, so secondly, or thirdly, actually, was the launching of or opening more OConnect. I just love the quality of it, how it is right now. And then a couple of technical updates. OConnect native mobile application is just about to be released. We're pretty much wrapping it up. So that's refreshing on time. O-Verify just on the same stage of being done, as well as opening more products. So business as usual. I love the direction we're headed to. There's going to be some turbulence because of the positive changes, and we just don't want to get ahead of ourselves in a way. Let's keep it as professional as possible, accurate. Don't say anything I don't say, or repeat, or spice it up, or tweak it, or put lipstick on it. Just say it as blunt, as fair, a few minutes. I just told you everything that we can tell you. I want to tell you more, but I can't now. When I can, I'll be here, the happiest boy on the block, and I will be telling you all I can. So thank you, my three brothers here and everybody else out there. We are definitely in an incredible, outstanding position. The very best of what we have, it didn't show up yet. It's coming. Thank you. I'm going to be on the road for a while, but I'll be reachable sometime in June. That was a joke, okay? Thank you. I'll be around. Thank you.
Thank you, Ash.
Have a good one.